matchup tonight between the Mount Pleasant Tigers and your Texas High Tigers. Starting from Mount Pleasant tonight, number 1, a 6'3" sophomore, Will Hills. Junior guard, 6'1", number 2 on his back, Brock Cooper. A guard, a 6'1" junior, number 5, Savion Oko. Number 11, senior, 6'5", forward, Jamarion Brown. And number 23, a 6-foot freshman guard, Peyton Chisholm. Head coach of Mount Pleasant, Joey Chisholm, assisted by Drew Barkley and Bobby Betts. And now, get on your feet for the Texas High Tigers! Starting for Texas High, 5'11" senior guard, number 3, Matty Ice Arnold. Number 4 guard, 5'10" senior, JT Turner. And number 5 guard, 6'1" junior, Cino Caleb Arnold. Wearing number 22 on his back, a 6'3" junior guard, Zane Colebred Dodson. And the man in the middle, number 35, a 6'10" senior forward, Cedric C.J. Kelly. Tigers head coached by Jacob Skinner, assisted by Keith Jones and Kyle Dickerson.
So C.J. Kelly goes into the circle right on top of the big block T here at Tiger Center. Going in with him, Will Hills, 6'3" sophomore. Of course, everybody manned up awaiting the opening tip. Eric Rufus, the referee, to tip off the boys' game. Good position by Rufus, and C.J. Kelly tips the ball back to junior Caleb Arnold. Texas High on offense first. Texas High working at the north end of Tiger Center. Zane Dotson with the basketball over to the low right corner to Caleb Arnold, back to Dotson, then back to Arnold. Arnold drives the lane, puts up the float shot. It's no good. He gets his own rebound, a jump ball called. And with Texas High having the first possession, the possession arrow will be with Mount Pleasant.
It looks like CJ might have caught a knee there coming through the lane a few minutes ago. He's still limping around. I think he may have gone knee to knee.
7:30 to go in the first quarter. Scoreless ball game. Mount Pleasant with their first possession of the basketball. Out to the top of the key, Jamarion Brown. Little float pass over J.T. Turner to Peyton Chisholm, the freshman guard. And he gets it over to the left elbow, Zariah Nakoe. He puts up a three-point shot. It's no good. On the rebound try, Brock Cooper with the ball off his foot. Gathering it up is Jamarion Brown. He puts up the layup. It's no good, but C.J. Kelly called for the foul.
It's 11 for 2, Jamarion Brown.
So Jamarion Brown, the 6'5" senior, standing at the free throw line for Joey Chisholm's Mount Pleasant bunch, and he'll sink the first. Good-looking, high arcing shot from the free throw line for Jamarion Brown. Mount Pleasant with the first lead of the ball game. It's 1-0. Second shot's in and out. High for the rebound was Caleb Arnold. He'll kick it out to Justin Turner. Turner giving it back to Matt Arnold, who finds C.J. Kelly at the baseline. Kelly puts up the shot off the glass. It's off the front of the rim. No good. Up the rebound, Jamarion Brown for Mount Pleasant. He kicks it out to the left or the right wing to Chisholm. And Peyton Chisholm drains the long-range three outside the three-point arc. Mount Pleasant's lead is 4-0. Zane Dotson with the basketball, drives to the high post, kicks it back out to Arnold. Matt Arnold, no look pass to Zane Dotson, driving the baseline. He was too deep, and he can't make the shot. C.J. Kelly saving the errant ball and trying to bounce it off a Mount Pleasant player, but the Mount Pleasant Tigers gather up the ball. At the other end, Mount Pleasant with a quick shot on the basket, no good, rebounded by C.J. Kelly.
A quick flurry up and down the floor. Texas High waiting on their first basket.
Turnover coming down the floor. Matt Arnold has it pushed out of there by Will Hills. Hills will push it up the floor. Trying to make a shot was Jamarian Brown. His layup's no good, and it's rebounded by Arnold. Caleb Arnold at the low right corner takes the pass from Matt Arnold, gives it to Zane Dotson. Dotson drives the lane, puts in a left-handed layup, and it's good.
Zane able to turn the corner that time, went into the lane and gets the easy bucket.
4-2 are scored. Mount Pleasant with the 2-point lead, 5:27 remaining in the first quarter. With the basketball, Jamarian Brown. C.J. Kelly out from under the basket, guarding Brown as they're in a man defense. Brock Cooper out on the left wing at the low left corner trying to put up the three-point shot. Zane Dotson he leaves his feet, and then he is going to end up kind of swatting Cooper in the eye. Called for the foul by Eric Rufus as Zane Dotson.
Yeah,
He's going to call it on the floor.
Yeah, he took the ball fake, and when he was running by, he said, oh, he ended up reaching out and getting a piece of it.
Fish hooked him in the eye.
Yeah.
So Brock Cooper shot partially blocked, stepping under the block shot on the way to the basket was Caleb Arnold. Texas High with the turnover, 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 4-2 are scored. Mount Pleasant with the 2-point lead. Texas High just trying to work it around. They get it to Caleb Arnold, high post. He drives to the basket, kicks it over to Zane Dotson. Dotson's long-range shot, no good, off the rim, rebounded by Peyton Chisholm. Mount Pleasant gets it to Brock Cooper, does Chisholm. Cooper drives to the lane. His shot's no good, rebounded by Caleb Arnold. Bounce pass to Monty Johnson. Johnson puts up the shot. It's no good, taking the charge. At the left block was Peyton Chisholm, and he did.
Fouls on number 10, Montarius Johnson, his first personal team foul.
That's how you set yourself and wait on the contact. He did a great job taking that from a much bigger player, did Peyton Chisholm, the freshman, and it's a foul called on Monty Johnson.
You can see that one coming. He was there in plenty of time and took the charge.
So Peyton Chisholm up the floor with the basketball, over to the right wing to Zaviana Coe. Will Hills, top of the key, to the left wing, Kebo Hines. Marion Brown down at the left block, a little turnaround hook shot by Will Hills, and it's good. The sophomore has 2 for Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant's lead is 4 in transition, still in the inbound pass was Zaviana Coe. He gets it to Chisholm, and Chisholm will put in the layup, and it's good. Jacob Skinner wants to call a timeout to talk to his Tigers. Mount Pleasant leading by 6, 8-2, 3:56 to go here in the first quarter.
30-second time.
One thing that Mount Pleasant's able to do, they're able to match up athletic-wise with Texas High. And the last possession.
Find yourself in need of emergency care, come see us at Texarkana Emergency Center. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We're locally owned with board-certified physicians for all your emergencies. We accept all private insurance. At Texarkana Emergency Center, we have on-site lab, pharmacy, x-ray, ultrasound, and CT. Come see us at Texarkana Emergency Center. Real ER without the wait. The next generation of emergency care.
Michael Thomas into the ball game for the first time in a few weeks. Gets it to A.J. Meeks at the left block. Meeks tries to put up a shot, has it blocked by Zaviana Cole. Cole steals the ball, then tries to drive to the basket. He has it stolen by Monty Johnson. Michael Thomas to Monty Johnson. Pass into the lane to Arnold. Arnold makes the bucket, and he's fouled. So Caleb Arnold taking it into the lane, aggressively makes the shot, and he's fouled by Kebo Hines. So going to the free throw line, junior Caleb Arnold.
C.J. Kelly's checking back into the game for Texas High.
A.J. Meeks coming out. Caleb Arnold at the free throw line for the and one, and he'll make it. Banks it out of the box, off the backboard into the basket, but it's good, and Texas High with the one possession ball game, trailing Mount Pleasant 8-5. Chisholm at the right wing, pulls up the three-point shot. It's off the front of the rim, no good. And I tell you what, Caleb Arnold really has some legs under him, getting up for the rebounds. Thomas driving into the lane. He's going to be, thought he might have been fouled, but he's going to be called for the travel.
Yeah, he took the extra step before he got fouled.
Ricky Roberts right there to call that one. Whistle on hand, and he blows it. Turnover by Texas High. Now Mount Pleasant comes the other way with a three-point lead, 8-5, 2:50 to go here in the first quarter. Little lob pass down to the left block to Jamarian Brown. They're going to call Ben DePriest on the foul, trying to steal it.
First personal team foul, number 4, checking in for the Tigers, Javon Smith.
Ben DePriest, 5'10", Will Hill, 6'3". Ben trying to steal the lob pass. Get the ball to Jamarian Brown, kick it out to the low left corner, putting up the three-point shot. Javion Coe, it's no good. Rebounded by Texas High. Michael Turner with the basketball. Turner gets it to C.J. Kelly. Into the lane goes Turner. Turner's layup, no good. An underhanded circus layup off the backboard, no good. Caleb Arnold coming in to try to steal a loose basketball away from Jamarian Brown, and he's going to be called for the reach-in foul.
The move in the lane, if that would have been in, you could have seen the football team. They would have been up.
They'd have been on the floor.
On the floor almost.
That was an awesome move by Michael
He just had too much English on the ball.
Caleb Arnold comes out. Matt Arnold comes in. With the basketball is Peyton Chisholm. Then kicks it down a little lower to Xavier Coe at the right side. Back out to the top of the key. Chisholm drives into the lane. There's a whistle before the shot, but probably going to call a shooting foul. And they are. They're going to call Matt Arnold for the foul.
His first personal team foul, number 6, shooting 2.
I believe if Matt would have just stayed to the side of him, he'd have been called for the travel, because it was time to either put the shot up or put it on the floor, and he did neither. He drew the contact, though.
Yeah, Montarius Johnson was coming to him on the help side, and he would have got the shot, too.
So the free throw from Peyton Chisholm, in and out, no good. Monty Johnson on the floor. Javon Smith on the floor for Texas High. C.J. Kelly, Matt Arnold, and Ben DePriest. The second free throw by Chisholm is good. He's got 6. Mount Pleasant leads 9-5, a 4-point lead. Monty Johnson inbounds the ball to Matt Arnold, back to Johnson, back to Arnold. Arnold dribbles past the timeline. Mount Pleasant trying to trap him. They get the ball down to the low left corner to Ben DePriest. DePriest out to Matt Arnold. Arnold drives to the high post, kicks it to the low right corner to Monty Johnson. Over to Javon Smith at the other corner at the left side. Texas High just working it around the outside. C.J. Kelly with that little head fake, and he's called for the travel.
Yeah, he stepped back and then stepped with the other foot. So, a little shuffle.
Mount Pleasant inbounding the ball. North end of Tiger Center, coming all the way up the floor. 1:16 to go in the first quarter. Low-scoring ball game. It's 9-5. Mount Pleasant with the 4-point lead. On the floor, Kelsey Morris with the basketball. Gives it in the lane, trying to give the ball to Ako, and he's going to have it batted out of bounds.
15, McCrumbie, his first personal team foul, number 3.
So McCrumbie called for a foul. Sophomore for Mount Pleasant, Michael McCrumbie. That's easy for you to say, McCrumbie. Fouls on the floor.
You do a good job pronouncing all those names. You got a lot of experience in football.
Get a little tang-tungled sometimes.
Yeah, tang-tungle.
Javon Smith with the basketball. Pass to the high post, top of the key to Arnold. C.J. Kelly takes the three-point shot just outside the three-point range at the left elbow. It's no good. Rebounded by Mount Pleasant's Kelsey Morris. Morris with the basketball. Back to Will Hills. Hills over to the left wing to Xavier Ako. Setting his feet outside the three-point arc for Mount Pleasant was McCrumbie. He takes the three-point shot. It's no good. Zane Dotson will rebound for Texas High. And here come the Tigers of Texarkana with the basketball, Monty Johnson. And the ball's going to be batted out of bounds by Xavier Ako as Mount Pleasant was trying to trap Monty Johnson just past the timeline. Johnson doing everything he could not to allow that to happen.
Yeah, they actually had him trapped. He just knocked it out of bounds instead of keeping it in.
4 seconds to go. With the basketball, Monty Johnson takes the buzzer shot. Oh, it's off the rim and no good. So we're through one period of play here at Tiger Center. Mount Pleasant leading Texas High by 4, 9-5. We'll step aside for 60 seconds. You're listening to Texas High Tiger basketball. You're here on CBS Sports 107.9 The Fan.
Wow. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful, handcrafted stone is our passion, and we ensure our customers receive the quality they deserve. We stand by our word, we stand by our products, services, and work that we do. Our team of experienced craftsmen and product experts have been perfecting their craft of fabricating and installing stone since 1998. Visit the Design Center at Red River Lumber to see the many beautiful stone options available for your next project.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire good people. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills for the right jobs. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
Basketball on CBS Sports 107.9 The Fan.
Well, we welcome you back to Tiger Center where the Texas High Tigers and the Mount Pleasant Tigers doing battle here in 15-5A action. 9-5 our score, Mount Pleasant with the lead.
Yeah, and my number one basketball player is listening from Oklahoma City.
Wow.
Roman McClintock.
Roman McClintock. Is that one of the Thunder, Oklahoma
He
Thunder?
may be a future Thunder player, but he's listening to our game tonight.
All right. That's your grandson, right?
That's my grandson.
That's awesome, Jack. C.J. Kelly takes the pass, the assist from Justin Morgan. And C.J. Kelly will put in the layup, and it's good. J.T. Turner, my bad. Justin Turner, not Morgan. Mount Pleasant with the basketball. 7:24 to play in the half. Texas High has cut the lead to 2, 9-7. And just that quick, the freshman guard, Peyton Chisholm, drains the long-range bomb from the left elbow, and the lead's back to 5, 12-7. Down the floor, Matt Arnold finds at the right block Turner, and JT just can't handle the pass from Matt Arnold. Goes out of bounds off of Texas High, and Mount Pleasant will inbound after the turnover with 7 minutes to play in the half. Mount Pleasant with the basketball, stolen by C.J. Kelly. No look pass to Zane Dotson. Dotson with the basketball. Bounce pass down to the low right corner, C.J. Kelly. Back out to Zane Dotson. Dotson to the high post, over to the left corner. Turner puts up the three. It's no good, but it's rebounded by C.J. Kelly. So Texas High trying to find a shot. Zane Dotson into the baseline, then kicks it out to Matt Arnold over at the low left corner. Another three-point shot attempt put up by J.T. Turner. It's off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Mount Pleasant's Will Hills. He'll kick it out to Peyton Chisholm. Then they push it to the top of the key to Jamarian Brown. Brown setting up the offense. Caleb Arnold on defense. Brown drives into the lane, then kicks it over to the low right corner. Putting in the three is Aviana Coe. It's his first points of the ball game, and their big one. 7-15 our score now. Mount Pleasant with the 8-point lead.
This game, much like the first game, Keith, a lot of low-scoring game. It was, 24-18 at the half over at Mount Pleasant.
Well on that pace.
Yeah.
5:44 to go in the second quarter. 8-point Mount Pleasant lead, 15-7. Texas High working it around Michael Johnson, or Thomas rather, trying to get it back to Matt Arnold. Stepping in front of it was Chisholm. Down the floor comes Zane Dotson. Dotson will make the layup, and he's fouled. Alvester Gibson with the emphatic bucket counts. And on the foul is Brock Cooper. So just the fourth team foul for Mount Pleasant. Texas High with 6 team fouls. And standing at the free throw line is junior Zane Dotson. Dotson with the and one try, comes off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Jamarian Brown, and Mount Pleasant comes to the south end of Tiger Center. 5:18 to play in the half. 15-9, 6-point Mount Pleasant lead. Xaviana Coe with the basketball. Texas High in their 2-3 zone. Trying to keep Mount Pleasant out of the lane, and driving the baseline was Jamarian Brown. His shot pass partially blocked. C.J. Kelly going to the basket hard, coming in to bat the ball away and foul C.J. Kelly is Chisholm.
No,
they're just going to call him out of bounds.
No, they called him in traveling.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the referee. Okay, so Ricky Roberts said he traveled with the basketball, and so a turnover by Texas High. Peyton Chisholm coming up the floor for Mount Pleasant. 4:42 to go in the half. 15-9, 6-point Mount Pleasant lead. Chisholm at the low left corner drives the baseline. His shot is blocked by Zane Dotson. On the rebound is Jamel Hargrave. Hargrave gets the ball to Jamarian Brown. Battle for the rebound. Jamel Hargrave with the layup. It's good, and he's fouled.
Basket's good. Fouls on number
So Hargrave with the basket. He's got 2 now. He'll go to the free throw line for the and one. Michael Thomas called for his first foul, and Texas High now has put Mount Pleasant into the bonus for the remaining 4:23 in the half. Hargrave shot in and out, no good. Rebounded by Monty Johnson. Mount Pleasant's lead remains 8, 17-9. Caleb Arnold with the basketball. They're on him. Reaching and called for the foul, Xaviana Coe. It's on the floor, and the 5th team foul for Mount Pleasant. Texas High with 17 fouls. Mount Pleasant in the bonus. 4 minutes to go in the half. Arnold to the right block. Little jump stop, and then the little right-handed layup, and it's good. So Matt Arnold now with 2, and the lead for Mount Pleasant cut to 6, 17-11. 3:54 remaining. Way downtown, putting up the shot for Mount Pleasant was Aviana Coe. It's no good. Zane Dotson with the rebound. He tried to pass it off.
Fouls on number 22 for Texas High. Dotson.
And then coming to the basket with the basketball was Jamarian Brown. He's fouled by Zane Dotson. Dotson now with 2 fouls. Jamarian Brown, the senior, going to the free throw line. He's 1 for 2 from the free throw line in the first half. And that ball just kind of dead off the back of the rim.
Knuckleball.
I thought it was just going to sit there. It looked like a sandbag. Jamarian Brown at the top of the key. Brown trying to find a way to the basket. Good defense by Monty Johnson to deny the pass. Then they kick it out to Kelsey Morris. Morris will take it to the hoop, and it's good. So Kelsey Morris, another freshman for Joey Chisholm, drives to the basket, and his shot's good. Coming down the floor, A.J. Meeks looking to put up the layup, and Jamarian Brown sets his feet and takes the charge by Meeks. So it's obvious Joey Chisholm and the Mount Pleasant Tigers work on taking the charge.
Yeah.
They do it well.
Right. And that's something you do work on. I mean, it's not something, a lot of kids will do it naturally, but it's a drill you used to work on in practice all the time.
Mount Pleasant with the basketball. Zavianico over to the right wing, firing up the long-range three-pointer was Jamarian Brown. It's no good. Monty Johnson on the rebound. Gives it to Matt Arnold. Arnold with the basketball. Mount Pleasant trying to trap him. Matt kicks it over to Monty Johnson. Pushed out of bounds by Mount Pleasant, trying to steal it. Texas High will reset and inbound from the sideline across the way. 2:36 to play in the half. 19-11, an 8-point Mount Pleasant lead. Into the ball game for Texas High, Braylon Stewart. Gives it to Zane Dotson. Dotson's little mid-range jumper, no good, off of C.J. Kelly's hand on the rebound try. Chisholm gathers it up from Mount Pleasant, kicks it over to the low right corner, making the three-point shot, Zavianico. That's his second from outside the arc, and Mount Pleasant's lead is 11, 22-11 with just 2 minutes remaining in the half. We got an exact same kind of game we had in Mount Pleasant, Jack.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like their defense gives us a lot of problems. That's what I said. They can match up well with us, and so we're either having to create off the dribble, which is hard to do a lot of times. And they do a good job in their man defense, helping out if we do make the corner. They help out well, and then a lot of our shots just haven't failed. You know, so Coach, I'm sure Coach Skinner is getting this time out to just get them. Let's refocus here and let's get back into this. You know, 22 points to give up in a half is not very
bad.
You know, you'd be thinking, hey, we're in great shape. We're going to give it up 22 points. And then the other side, well, we're only scored 11. So,
but you know, we talk about, you look at their record, 24-3, and there's no doubt they're a good defensive ball club. Obviously, they're not as well offensively because they got 22 points on the scoreboard. So.
Oh, you would definitely say that their best part of their game is the defensive end. You know, if you can play defense, you can stay in a lot of games. You know, if you look at Virginia win the national championship last year, they were known as a defensive team.
And not many games did they have that was above 60 points either. So 2:12 to go in the half. Mount Pleasant with an 11-point lead, 22-11. Texas High need to get a run going offensively here to head into the half on a good note. Matt Arnold with the basketball to the half court. Braylon Stewart gives to Zane Dotson, kicks over to the low left corner. C.J. Kelly on the rebound of the shot. His putback is good. So C.J. now getting under the basket and getting those putback shots on the offensive rebounds that he is really good at when he can get under there and do it. Matt Arnold over to Zane Dotson. Dotson steps back outside the three-point arc. His shot's no good. There's C.J. again with the cleanup. So C.J. Kelly gets the rebound of Zane Dotson's shot, puts it back in the basket. Now all of a sudden it's a 7-point lead for Mount Pleasant, 22-15. Setting his feet, putting up the three-point shot on the other end was Zavianico. His shot's no good on the rebound try. Monty Johnson, and he's going to be fouled by Jamarian Brown over Monty Johnson's back.
He's asking Alvester, what did I do? Alvester told him, well, you got him on the elbow and you hit him on the head.
And he wore you like a backpack, too. Yeah. Zane Dotson inbounds the ball to Kelly. Over to the left side, Monty Johnson. Back out to Zane Dotson. A little bounce pass from Dotson to Matt Arnold. Comes stolen by Kelsey Morris. He takes it coast to coast to the right block, puts in the layup, and it's good. 9-point Mount Pleasant lead. Texas High with the basketball. Matt Arnold out to the right elbow. Zane Dotson over to the left wing. Monty Johnson puts up the three, and he'll bury it. So Monty Johnson buries the three and leads back to 6 for Mount Pleasant, 24-18 with 38 seconds left in the half. With the basketball is Aviana Coe. C.J. Kelly blocking him. Pass trying to go to the low right corner to Zaviana Coe. And Monty Johnson will bat it out of bounds. 30 seconds as Mount Pleasant inbounds from the sideline across the way. Inbounding backcourt, Jamarian Brown going back to get it. Peyton Chisholm, the freshman guard. Chisholm crossed the timeline to the left wing, firing up the left-handed three-point shot was Zaviana Coe. It's no good. C.J. Kelly with the rebound. Monty Johnson over to Braylon Stewart. Stewart sets his feet, tries the three. It's no good. Monty Johnson with the rebound. C.J. Kelly under the basket. His putback's no good. Coming up with the rebound, Jamarian Brown, who puts up the three-pointer at the buzzer, and it's no good. So we'll go to the locker room. Texas High coming back as we get to the buzzer. Mount Pleasant leading your Tigers 24-18. We'll step aside for 4 minutes, come back with the halftime portion of our broadcast. You're listening to Texas High Tiger basketball. You're here on CBS Sports 107.9 The Fan.
The dugout.
If you're looking for authentic Cajun-style meats prepared and ready to cook and take home, look no further than Lanyard Specialty Meats. We here at Lanyard Specialty Meats select nothing but premium meats, and we season it to perfection so that you'll have all of Acadiana flavor here in your own home. Come by Lanyard Specialty Meats for all your tailgating needs for this football season or hunting season. Remember, Lanyard Specialty Meats.
Lanyards is an official sponsor and proud supporter of Texarkana Game Day.
Every now and then.
Yeah, it's the phone line or something.
speak here. We just need to score more points than they do.
Right?
That's it, isn't it?
That's what you got to do to win,
That's right.
It's
And,
that easy.
We're playing good defense.
Yeah.
You know, I think our defense is good. But they're hitting more shots than we are right now. Turnovers, we've got 7, they've got 5. So it's a defensive game.
No doubt. So
That
coming
wasn't
out
what you
of
was
the-
wanting to hear, was
well,
it?
it's close. it's better than what I got. 'cause,
No,
boy, I
I
don't
would
know.
say that.
It's the second game that
Yeah.
we've seen this team. We've already seen them once. I know we've watched film on them, trying to figure out what happened with our game with them, and how other teams may have had success against them. And here we are, identical halftime score, and pretty much the same game we had
Right.
going there. So.
You know, our guards, they have to handle the ball because there's constant pressure. And that puts pressure on your offense, too, if you're not able to get into your offense. And that's part of what they're just trying to create havoc with their defense, and they're doing a good job.
I'll run down the scorebook for you. It's not going to take long for Mount Pleasant. They're led by the freshman guard, Peyton Chisholm, who has 9. Xavier Coe has 6, 4 for Kelsey Morris, 2 for Will Hills, 2 for Jamal Hargrave, and 1 for Jamarian Brown. For Texas High, C.J. Kelly leading all Texas High Tigers with 6 points. Zane Dotson with 4, Monty Johnson with a long-range 3, Caleb Arnold with a layup and a free throw. He's got 3, and Matt Arnold with 2, and we're at the half. 24-18 is our score. Mount Pleasant with the possession as we inbound to start the third quarter.
It's going to be real important that we have a good, first 4 minutes of the second half. I think that's where you always tells what the rest of the game is going to be like.
Jamarian Brown inbounding to Peyton Chisholm. Back over to the right wing to Jamarian Brown. He gets it into the lane to Will Hills. Kicks it out to Brock Cooper. Cooper drives the baseline once. Zane Dotson in defense leaves his feet, and he's fouled.
Foul on Tigers on number 10.
Monty Johnson called for the foul, and going to the free throw line is Brock Cooper. Cooper, the junior guard, if you'll remember, Cooper didn't come alive till the second half in Mount Pleasant either. He's got a pretty good shot. I think he hit like 3 threes in the second half. He'll make the first.
What you do on that play, they obviously had a play to throw it into the post, and if they collapse, they kicked it out. And Zane ran at him. What you do when you run at them to a certain point. And don't leave your feet, and then force them back to the inside.
Second shot from Cooper through and good as well. He's got 2. The lead for Mount Pleasant now 8, 26-18. Matt Arnold with the basketball, breaking it. C.J. Kelly to the basket. His layup's no good, and C.J. just can't find a clean route to the rim.
He made a really good move to get around the defense, and then he kind of almost lost the ball.
He had to contort himself to get there. Goes out of bounds. Mount Pleasant inbounds, coming up the floor with the basketball. Jamarian Brown over to the low right corner, Peyton Chisholm. Chisholm already sets his feet at the right wing, puts up the three-point shot. It's no good. Matt Arnold trying to rebound. On the foul is Will Hills over his back. Joey Chisholm does protest with Alvester Gibson, but it was pretty obvious to me.
Yeah. The first time there was 2 tip balls there. The first time he did kind of go straight up, but then he came down on top of him the second time.
Matt Arnold with the basketball coming up the floor. Chisholm on defense. Arnold at the high post. Kicks it out to Zane Dotson. Dotson dribbles to the left wing, then puts it to the top of the key back to Matt Arnold. Mount Pleasant in their man defense just creating all kinds of pressure for the Tigers. Putting up the shot, Xavier Nicole. His layup's no good. Kickball called on Peyton Chisholm, and Texas High will inbound from the baseline underneath Mount Pleasant's basket.
Coach Chisholm was wanting goaltending on that layup. Monterius Johnson came in there. I couldn't tell whether it came off the glass first or they pinned it to the glass.
Zane Dotson calling for help. Finally bounce passes it in to Matt Arnold. Arnold now trapped. Trying to get it across the timeline. Monty Johnson across to Arnold. Arnold under the basket to C.J. Kelly. Kelly will bank it in, and it's good. C.J. Kelly a little deep under the basket, but he was able to get out from under it, get a shot off. 6-point Mount Pleasant lead in transition down at the other end. Monty Johnson batting a pass over to Matt Arnold. Arnold with the basketball into the lane and then kicks it out to Zane Dotson. Dotson out to the top of the key. Monty Johnson, and Monty Johnson trying to throw it over to the left wing to Matt Arnold. Will throw it away. Turnover for Texas High, and Mount Pleasant inbounds in front of Texas High's bench. Jamarian Brown with the basketball, drives in the lane, puts up the shot off the glass, and it's good. So Jamarian Brown now with 3. Mount Pleasant's lead back to 8, 28-20. Zane Dotson with the basketball. Has it stolen by Xavier Nico. Lots of contact there. No whistle, and Nico takes it the other way and puts in the layup, and it's a 10-point Mount Pleasant lead, 30-20. Up to the scorer's table comes Braylon Stewart and Ben DePriest. C.J. Kelly with the basketball all the way across the floor to Caleb Arnold. Dangerous pass. Zane Dotson with the basketball at the baseline, trying to make his way around the defense, and called for the block is Will Hills. That's his second. Good job by Zane Dotson to create that contact.
He did. He was able to spin away and turn the corner and got called for the block.
It's on the floor, so Texas High will inbound from the baseline underneath their basket. Long pass out to Ben DePriest. DePriest on the floor now. Didn't play against Royal City. Had a nagging injury to his back. He was trying to get better. Monty Johnson in the lane, puts up a little mid-range jump shot, and it's good. Monty Johnson with 5. Mount Pleasant's lead cut to 8 again, 30-22. Right wing, Jamarian Brown with the basketball. Coming out to guard him, C.J. Kelly. Down to the low left corner, Peyton Chisholm drives the baseline. Called for the foul is going to be Braylon Stewart. Chisholm too deep to make the shot. He was just going to pass it, but he's fouled by Braylon Stewart. So Chisholm will step outside the baseline to inbound the ball, quickly getting it into Jamal Hargrave. Hargrave back to Chisholm. Over to Jamarian Brown, back to Chisholm, top of the key. 4:20 to go in the third quarter, 30-22. Mount Pleasant with the 8-point lead. Jamarian Brown over to Hargrave at the left corner. Hargrave's shot's no good. The rebound by Kebo Hines. His putback's good. He's got 2, and the lead's back to 10 for Mount Pleasant, 32-22. Braylon Stewart with the basketball. Trying to break the timeline and will. Pass to the high post. Caleb Arnold. Arnold puts up the shot. It's no good, but he's fouled. Ricky Roberts with the foul. He's going to call it on Jamel Hargrave.
Hargrave, his first personal team foul, number 3, going to the line for the Tigers, number 5, Caleb Arnold.
So Caleb Arnold to the free throw line. He's 1 for 2. And his first one off the right side of the rim, and no good. So A.J. Meeks coming in for Monty Johnson. Johnson getting a rest. Second free throw on the way. Caleb Arnold, and he'll make it. So he's 2 for 4. He's got 4 points, and the lead back to 9 for Mount Pleasant, 32-23 with 3:44 to go in the third quarter. Kebo Hines with the basketball over to Chisholm. Jamarian Brown, high post, kicks it down to the right wing. Kelsey Morris then out to the left elbow, firing up the 3-point shot. Xavier Nico, it's no good. Rebounded by C.J. Kelly, and we got a foul coming down the floor. On number 10, Kelsey Morris.
Kelsey Morris, his first personal team foul, number 4.
It's the 4th team foul for Mount Pleasant. Texas High with 2. There's 3:22 on the clock remaining here in the third quarter. Braylon Stewart to inbound the ball. Inbounds backcourt to Caleb Arnold. Arnold coming up the floor, crosses the timeline. Kelsey Morris on defense. Back to Arnold, to the high post, trying to get it to Meeks, and getting a hand in there, Xavier Coe. He kicks it back out. At the high post, driving the lane, trying to put a shot up was Kebo Hines, and C.J. Kelly said, get that out of here.
Yeah, C.J. was just floating, ready for that one.
Kebo Hines, 5'10". C.J. Kelly has a foot on him nearabouts. He blocks that one. Inbound pass, low left corner to Kebo Hines. Hines drives to the lane, little 360 move, floats one off the glass, and it's good. 34-23, back to an 11-point lead for Mount Pleasant, matching their biggest lead of the ball game in the first half of 11. Braylon Stewart out to Ben DePriest. DePriest trying to pass it out to the top of the key to Caleb Arnold. Has it stolen by Jamal Hargrave. Hargrave taking it the other way. His shot no good. C.J. Kelly with the rebound. Caleb Arnold across the timeline over to Meeks. Meeks drives to the basket, puts up the layup. It's no good. C.J. Kelly with the putback slam, and it's good. Mount Pleasant's lead cut to 9, 34-25. Low right corner, Kebo Hines. Out to the right wing, Kelsey Morris. Morris drives into the lane, tries to put up a shot. It's short. Rebounded by Ben DePriest. He pushes it forward to Caleb Arnold, and Arnold puts in the right-handed layup from the right block. Mount Pleasant's lead cut to 7 as Texas High goes on a mini run, 34-27 our score. Joey Chisholm wants to slow it down and talk to his Tigers.
Right. They're real comfortable with a slow-paced game. You know, they probably took a couple quick shots there, and they had their 6'5" post player out of the game. You know, so Jamarian Brown was out too, wasn't he? There, I think.
Yeah, he was.
He was out of the game, and he does. You know, he's able to step out and handle the ball pretty well. In which 6'5", if you're gonna play at the next level, you better be able to handle it real well.
Right. Because that's a forward, maybe even a guard at the next level.
Guards, it doesn't make any difference whether Division II, NAIA, or Division III. You're going to have a point guard. Most of them are 6'2" and 6'3" and 6 up. So he's back in.
34-27, a 7-point Mount Pleasant lead. They've led by as many as 11 here in the second half as well. Texas High just not going away. Good thing is the Tigers of Texas High scored 9 points so far in the third quarter.
I was going to comment about that. We're doing a lot better.
So Mount Pleasant trying to inbound the ball. Braylon Stewart doing a good job of getting the hand on the ball. It's going to come off of Chisholm. And Jamil and Joey Chisholm asking the referee, how can you see that?
I thought Coach Skinner was going to get it there for a minute.
Right. Inbound pass comes to Matt Arnold. Arnold with the basketball. Give and go to Javon Smith. Javon Smith has it wrestled away by Kebo Hines, who loses his step, and he's going to lose the basketball back to Javon Smith. Matt Arnold setting his feet, pulling up the little jumper after his jump stop. It's no good. But Brock Cooper called for his second foul. Mount Pleasant with 5 team fouls here in the third quarter. Texas High can get their way into the bonus here with a quarter to play. That'll help out the Tigers' efforts. Maybe. Matt Arnold with the first free throw.
As long as you put them in, it will.
Yeah. 34-27, 7-point lead. Arnold's second shot a little short as well. There to rebound Will Hills, the sophomore forward for Mount Pleasant. Down at the other end, driving to the basket was Kebo Hines. They're going to call Matt Arnold for the foul. Did they give him that basket?
They gave him the basket.
Wow, that's a lot of continuation there.
As an ultra runner and an endurance athlete, my body takes a beating every time I go out there. So getting the cryotherapy from Retreat really helps accelerate the recovery process. It really invokes the fight or flight, a response that my body needs to heal faster after I go for a very long run.
setting his defensive stand and taking the charge.
That's one thing, you know, you leave your feet, you only got one place to go.
It's down.
Down.
So Chisholm with the basketball. Peyton Chisholm coming down the floor. Top of the key, he goes to Kebo Hines, then over to Brock Cooper at the left wing. Cooper giving it to Jamarian Brown back into the ball game to Will Hills at the block. Hills didn't like the defense. He kicks it out to the low right corner. Draining the three is Kebo Hines. So Hines now with 10, and he's been a great asset for Joey Chisholm and his Tigers coming off the bench. C.J. Kelly going to the basket. His layup's no good, and he's fouled. Not so sure that the contact was so hard, but C.J. hitting the floor afterwards was. Bigger they are, you know what they say.
Yep. You didn't notice down there, Kebo Hines came completely out of one of his shoes down on the other end.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
C.J. Kelly from the free throw line, he'll make his first free throw. C.J. Kelly with the second one, and it's good. So C.J. with 12. The lead now back to 11 for Mount Pleasant as the third quarter's coming to an end. 16 seconds left on the clock. Into the lane, driving to the basket was Kebo Hines. He'll put in the layup, and it's good. 42-29 our score. 4 seconds left in the half. C.J. Kelly with the basketball, and time will run out on the third quarter. So we'll go to the fourth quarter of play. Mount Pleasant leading Texas High 42-29. We'll step aside for 60 seconds. You're listening to Texas High Tiger basketball here on CBS Sports 107.9 The Fan.
Tiger basketball on CBS Sports 107.9 The Fan.
Well, we welcome you back to Tiger Center where we start the fourth quarter of play. Texas High will have possession of the basketball. Mount Pleasant leading 42-29. Texas High trying to find something they can do with this Mount Pleasant defense. Braylon Stewart with the basketball down to C.J. Kelly in the baseline, and C.J. will float the little mid-range shot over the defense of Mount Pleasant. C.J.'s got 14, and it's back to an 11-point Mount Pleasant lead, 42-31. Xavier Cole with the basketball. Caleb Arnold on defense for Texas High. A lot of hand checking over to the left wing. Kebo Hines. Top of the key, Brock Cooper. Cooper back to Hines. Back to Cooper, low left corner. Cooper trying to put up a shot, has it partially blocked by Monty Johnson. Johnson coming down the sideline, has to try to save it to keep Texas High's possession, and he'll step on the sideline, says Alvester Gibson. Turnover for Texas High. Mount Pleasant will inbound from the sideline across the way with 7:04 to go in the ball game and an 11-point lead, 42-31. Savionico across the timeline with the basketball. Screen set up by Jamel Hargrave. Hargrave with the basketball over to Brock Cooper at the right elbow. Bounce pass, top of the key. Jamarian Brown. Brown looks to shoot. brings C.J. Kelly off of his feet and then tries to go around him, and it looks like C.J. reached in. He'll get his second foul. It's the 5th team foul for Texas High. Mount Pleasant was 6. They can't give another one or Texas High will be in the bonus. Texas High with 1 to give.
Mount Pleasant's going to be real patient with the basketball. They normally are anyway, but when they have a 11-point lead in the fourth quarter, they really will be.
Jamarian Brown coming off of the screen of Jamal Hargrave, drives into the lane. His layup's no good, but he's going to be fouled by Monty Johnson, his third.
Third personal team foul, number 6. The line shooting 2 for Mount Pleasant's number 11, Jamarian Brown.
So Jamarian Brown will go to the free throw line. He's 1 for 2 from the free throw line, the senior, with only 3 points in the ballgame. For as active as he is on the floor, that's kind of surprising, especially with his height at 6'5", and he'll make the first one.
You know, he really hasn't taken very many shots tonight.
Second shot on the way. It's in and out. He's going to be across the line, says Ricky Roberts, and Texas High will inbound from the baseline at the north end of Tiger Center. 6:26 remaining in the ball game. 12-point Mount Pleasant lead, 43-31. Caleb Arnold to Michael Thomas. Thomas over to the right side to Monty Johnson. Johnson's 3-point shot, no good. Jamarian Brown with the basketball. Timeout called by Joey Chisholm before the loose basketball. Mount Pleasant will take a timeout with 6:10 remaining in the ball game and the 12-point lead. So a little different scenario than we saw at Willie Williams Gym in Mount Pleasant. Though it is a 12-point lead, Jake Skinner and the Tigers there taking advantage of Joey Chisholm's timeout as you see Skinner kneeling down with his team around him. He's got the chalkboard out there trying to figure something out, Jack.
Yeah, they talked to KD, said something there to him before they went into the huddle about an adjustment they need to make. So you can look, Coach Chisholm's team is disciplined anyway with the basketball, and they're just going to be more disciplined here. Texas High, like I said, we're both fixing to be in a bonus on the next foul. And so it's like we always say, it comes down to some free throws usually late in the ball game. But we're down 12, and we need to get a few turnovers and a few shots to go in.
Yeah, no doubt. We get somebody hot, a Zane Dodson or Arnold or somebody hot from the three-pointer. Monty Johnson's got a good three-point shot at times. Get A.J. Meeks maybe involved. I know we're just sitting here going down the roster saying what if, but 12-point deficit can be erased quick.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, coaches use timeouts. And I know Coach Chisholm used that timeout because they were...
Save possession, yeah.
Yeah, save a possession.
So Mount Pleasant's going to inbound the ball. The Texas High defense all the way down the floor waiting on Peyton Chisholm, the freshman ball handler, to get to the timeline. Then they double up to trap him. At the right wing with the basketball is Aviana Coe.
They're looking to trying to run a little half-court trap.
They pretty much know what Joey Chisholm's fixing to do, and that's what they're trying to do. C.J. Kelly with the stolen basketball. Pulls up the little jump shot, partially blocked, but Braylon Stewart's under the basket. He gets the rebound. His putback's no good, but he's fouled, and on the foul, Peyton Chisholm.
Chisholm is first personal team foul, number 7.
I got that as Peyton Chisholm's second personal foul.
Braylon Stewart.
So Braylon Stewart will go to the free throw line.
Coach Skinner talking to his team about how they're going to work their half-court trap.
Stewart's first shot off the back of the rim and comes way off the cylinder, no good. Second shot to come for the sophomore. It's same off the back of the rim. Almost with the rebound was Monty Johnson. He'll just tip it up in the air, and coming down with it's Jamarian Brown from Mount Pleasant. Jamarian Brown not going with the program of Joey Chisholm. He decides to try to take a shot. It's no good. Rebounded by Texas High. with the basketball underneath Michael Johnson. He gets it to C.J. Kelly, low left corner. Kelly puts up the three. It's in and out. Underneath, rebounded by Peyton Chisholm. Mount Pleasant's basketball, 5 minutes to go in the game, and a 12-point lead. Losing the handle on the basketball was Chisholm. Michael Thomas gathering it up. Thomas trying to get the ball past to C.J. Kelly, and Mount Pleasant will step in front of it. Coming the other way, Kebo Hines with his 14th point from the left block. Mount Pleasant with a 14-point lead, 4:40 to go in the ball game. Caleb Arnold into the lane, tries to put in the layup. It's no good, but he's fouled by Chisholm.
Foul on Mount Pleasant on number 23. Peyton Chisholm, his second personal, team foul number 8.
So Chisholm with the foul again. Texas High's in the bonus. 18 foul for Mount Pleasant. That's going to put Caleb Arnold at the strike. Arnold 2 for 2 from the free throw line, but he'll miss the first end of this one. Front end off the rim, no good, and Caleb will shoot his second.
When you're down 14, you know, if you can get a chance to score without the clock running, that's what you need to do.
He'll make the second. Caleb Arnold with 7 points. He's 3 for 4 from the free throw line. 4:38 to go in the ball game. 45-32, a 13-point Mount Pleasant lead. Chisholm down to the low right corner to Will Hills. Hills long across the floor. Then down to the left corner, putting up a three and making it is Kebo Hines. Hines important coming off the bench for Joey Chisholm. He's only got 17 points for the Mount Pleasant Tigers. 48-32, a 16-point Mount Pleasant lead. C.J. Kelly under the basket, and he'll slam it in. So Kelly now with 16. The lead back to 14 for Mount Pleasant. Inside 4 minutes to go now, and just a wide open look for Kebo Hines at the low left corner. His three-point shot no good. Rebounded by C.J. Kelly. Good dump to Arnold. Arnold the other way to C.J. Kelly. Kelly finds Monty Johnson in the lane. Johnson with the little short jumper. It's no good. Coming down the floor with the basketball in transition for Mount Pleasant, Xavier Naco, and he'll put in the layup. 16-point Mount Pleasant lead, 50-34. 3:20 to go in the game. Dribbling off his foot, Monty Johnson. Stolen by Jamarian Brown. He'll push it forward to Kebo Hines, and Hines now with 19 as he'll put the layup in from the left block. So an 18-point Mount Pleasant lead with 3 minutes to go. Pass coming across the floor to Caleb Arnold. Back to Matt Arnold at the high post. Give it to Monty Johnson. Johnson trying to get a pass down to C.J. Kelly. This time Kebo Hines taking the charge from Monty Johnson, and that's the fourth charge Mount Pleasant's taken from our big guys.
Yeah.
That time Kebo Hines, the 5'10 junior, taking one.
Right.
Smith and Dotson.
2:48 left in the ball game. Mount Pleasant with their biggest lead of the ball game, 18. 52-34. And possession of the basketball as Mount Pleasant inbounds from the baseline at the south end of Tiger Center. Chisholm with the basketball. Matt Arnold on defense. Chisholm breaks the timeline. Now Zane Dotson coming over. They try to trap him. Chisholm dribbles out of it. And a foul called on the floor.
Fouls on number 4.
J.T. Turner called for the foul.
Team foul number 8.
That's going to be his first, but it's the 18th foul for Texas High. And Mount Pleasant's in the bonus as well.
You got Chisholm at the line, who's a freshman, and you got Kelsey Morris coming there to check in. He's also a freshman. And I noticed in the girls' game, they had a couple of good freshmen on their team there, too.
Chisholm thought he had that one. It comes deep into the cylinder off the back of the rim and back out. Rebounded by Texas High. Justin Turner trying to throw a pass all the way across the floor in transition. coming the other way, and not sure who made that
21,
basket. Okay,
yeah.
so Devin Williams made the basket
Devin
coming
Williams.
off the bench. Texas High the other way, shot no good. Rebounded by Will Hills.
Back. A little extra step.
David Smith that time from the bench into the ball game. He takes his chance and opportunity once he got a pass to basketball. Wanted to put up the three, just wanted a little more in toward the line, so he walked.
Right.
20-point Mount Pleasant lead, 54-34. Inside 2 minutes to play here at Tiger Center. Hey, don't forget, coming up Friday night is the Texas High Tigers and the Lindale Eagles. We'll bring you both the girls and the boys action here from Tiger Center. Pre-game and the girls game scheduled for 6 o'clock, tip-off at 6:15. That's all coming up this Friday. Texas High and Lindale here at Tiger Center. Braylon Stewart takes a shot, sets his feet, puts up the three. And Braylon Stewart will get into the scorebook with a three-pointer. 54-37. 17-point lead for Mount Pleasant with 1:23 to go. And C.J. Kelly came to see us here at the scorers table and brought the basketball with him.
Texas High, Michael Thomas.
Mount Pleasant's got a number 20 on the floor who's not on my roster. He'll inbound the basketball, and Joey Chisholm now with substitutions on the floor for the remaining minute and a half. And Justin Turner, JT, called with his second foul, and it's the 19th foul. 54-37, a minute 14 left on the clock. Mount Pleasant leading Texas High by 17. At the free throw line, making the first, Kelsey Morris, the freshman guard that Jack referred to. That's his 5th point of the ball game. First time to the free throw line for Morris. His second's good as well. So he's got 6. The lead back to 19, 56-37, a minute 10 to go in the ball game. Braylon Stewart with the basketball, gives it to Michael Thomas. Then over to the left side, Braylon Stewart puts up another three. It's long over the rim, rebounded by number 20. He pushes it forward. Layup from the right block, attempted by McCrumbie. His shot's no good. On the rebound, Devin Williams, and he's going to be fouled by Monty Johnson. .49 seconds, all that's left. And Devin Williams makes his first free throw. So you talk about Joey Chisholm, you talk about the patience and the discipline that they show, the good defense they play, and they're making their free throws here down the stretch, doing everything right, Jack.
They got a really good defensive effort. They're still, they're just as playing harder defense right now as they were at the beginning of the second half or the beginning of the game. You think normally sometime with a 20-point lead with 42 seconds and put some of your substitutes in the game, you might back out of some of your defense. That's normally what they play, so they're getting after it.
At the end of the ball game, we'll be choosing our Sports Magic Player of the Game. It's all coming up in the post-game portion of our broadcast tonight. 33 seconds, Mount Pleasant inbounding from the scorer's table. Coming down the floor with the basketball, Kelsey Morris. Across the timeline, trying to float pass down to the block, gets it to Devin Williams. Williams' shot deflected, but it's gathered up by David Smith. Smith at the left block finds number 20, and 20 will make the shot. He's in the scorebook with 2, and I don't feel bad. The public address announcer, Billy Lavender, doesn't have his name either. So Zane Dotson firing up the 3, 1.2 seconds left, and you hear the buzzer. That'll do it for the ball game. Mount Pleasant's going to take care of the Texas High Tigers here at home, completing their sweep of Texas High in district competition, 59-37, a 22-point win for the Mount Pleasant Tigers. We'll step aside for 4 minutes, come back to wrap things up. You're listening to Texas High Tiger basketball, and let's make it 3 minutes.